Sometimes the hats that we wear can become all too consuming. Sometimes there's so many hats that we're just exhausted. We don't know what to do. Most of us have been there, especially women. We've been in that space and just not sure of how to get out of it. Stay tuned because our next guest will share her experience of being butt tired and how she was able to get out of that space and to get her hats back in line. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Happy Monday. It is the start of a brand new week and you are here with us and we are with you. Our guest today is Dr. Shana Lewis. Dr. Shana is a licensed professional counselor supervisor, TEDx speaker, change agent, mom, wife. She's just an amazing woman out living her best life and having the mission and goal of helping other women do the same and make those U-turns. Dr. Shana believes if mama ain't right, ain't nobody right. Stay tuned. Do you have a story to tell? Wait. We all have a story to tell. If you are ready to tell your story as it relates to your mental health and the journey, the struggle, the management, the awareness, the lack thereof, we want you at Am I Crazy with LaShasta Bell. And what about sponsorship? Oh, thanks for asking. Because there's also the opportunity for sponsorship. Do you have a product? Do you have an event that you want to shout to the world? If so, check out our sponsorship. Same place as the guest forum. See you soon. Thank you so much for joining us on Am I Crazy and just being willing to come and share all of the gems within your life, within your profession. We just appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you for the invite. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you're a licensed professional counselor supervisor. You are a professor in mental health realm, author, speaker, nonprofit starter, creator, just, all things health, mental health, wellness. How does that allow you to show up as you, or how does it sometimes prevent you from showing up as you?
Oh yeah, it's a struggle, and the struggle is real.
Yes,
it is. You know, they say I don't look like what I've been through. I don't look like what I've been through. It's a lot, right? When there's a lot of responsibilities, a lot of hats you wear, a lot of people who are counting on you, it's tough. And so I've had to really learn and be intentional about self-care, about taking care of me. And that has not been an easy journey.
So you're right. We don't look like what we've been through. Mm-mm. Tell us a little bit about what that been through did look like.
It wasn't pretty.
Wasn't pretty like you and your purple?
No, honey, it was not pretty. So my mind goes back to probably about 2013, 2014. And that's when I started my PhD program. So I was already in private practice, already running my own business, and small. It was just me, right? I had no staff, no anything else. And then when I went back to school, I got this bright idea, just expand the practice so that you can go to school while the practice is still running. So bring on new people, all of that. So we did that, moved, got more space, all of that. Amazing. Sounds, right? Yeah, sure. And a PhD program.
A whole, and a mom.
And a mom.
And a wife.
And a wife.
And a ministry leader.
And yes.
Okay, all these hats.
All of those things. None of those stopped. Nobody cared, right, that you added something new because the other roles still had to continue. And so for me, it was during that time that I was worn out. School was 2 or 3 nights a week. Work was 4 days a week. Mommy was every day. Wife was every day. Every other thing seemed like it was all the time. And the amount of energy that it would take to get through, I didn't have. Like I was, butt dragging on the floor, kind of tired.
Oh, that's tired.
That's tired. That's how tired she was. And it was at that point I was like really at a bottom. Like, how am I going to make it through? I'm in year 1. I'm in semester 1. Like, I have 4 years of this. How am I going to make it? And I really didn't know. Wasn't sleeping, staying up late at night, not eating well, still taking on new things. Like, I didn't have a whole list of other things I was already doing. Am I crazy? Yeah. I was kind of crazy. But I had to figure out at a point that enough was enough, right? And literally for me, it happened. I was watching Deborah Duncan. I was watching TV. And I saw Dr. Shell, who came on Deborah Duncan. And she was talking about what she does for women and helping women and, emotion, not necessarily just emotional, but the physical stuff, the inside. And I'm like, oh, I think I need some of that. And I promise you, after seeing her, like that literally saved my life in so many ways. Wow. I wouldn't have made it.
So what did you go do? So you saw her, because, we see people on TV all the time, right? And in our minds, a lot of times they're not accessible. Like, they're on TV.
Right.
So you were able to access Dr. Shell?
Yep.
Okay. And what happened from there?
So it's funny, though, because I first heard of Dr. Shell from one of my clients. She came into my office and she said, I wasn't Dr. Shana. Shana, I am the angry black woman, and I won't kill folks on a daily basis. Like, she was having a hard time. And a couple weeks later, she came back and said, you know what? I found this doctor. She figured out my hormones were imbalanced. Oh. And now the things that we thought were mental health problems weren't. It was a hormonal imbalance. We fixed that. Dr. Shell fixed that. And then she and I could just do the little tweaks.
That's it.
And she went back on and everybody loved her. She was like, this was amazing. So when I saw her on TV, probably a couple of weeks later, it wasn't the first time I heard of her. And I was like, oh, I need her in my life. Because I said, something's wrong. Something is, how as women, your body, right? You don't feel good. Something is wrong. Doctors tell you, well, you're young, you're healthy. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Just go keep doing what you're doing.
Right, because that's going to fix it.
And it's not. And what I love about Dr. Shell is she teaches us to advocate for ourselves. And so going there, I said, Dr. Shell, whatever tests you have, run them all.
All of them.
All of them. At that, I didn't care how much it cost. For my health, it was worth whatever penny I had to put on it. And so she did. She ran food sensitivity tests, hormonal tests, thyroid tests, yeast tests, all kinds of stuff. And all of it came back wrong.
Oh, no.
All of it.
But you were red. You were in the red.
Oh, I was so in the red. I was so off. But it was the best news I could have ever gotten. It was.
Because it gave you an answer.
Thank God for an answer. Because you really think you're going crazy. Because nothing is making sense. People looking at you like you're healthy, you're young, what's your problem? Your life is what you said you wanted it to be.
Right, you expanding your practice, you're on your PhD.
Yeah.
Why you butt dragging?
Correct. Because she died. Hormones off, had a thyroid problem for years, didn't even know it. Hashimoto, had no clue. What is that? It runs in my family. But every other time I would go to the doctor and get that regular thyroid test they give you, it was normal. But it wasn't until Dr. Shell ran a different kind of test, right? That's very special, came back positive. And it's like, oh.
Wow.
So that was powerful.
And that's where that advocacy piece comes in that you talk about, that she teaches and helps, because the doctors are going to give you the basic.
They are.
Or less than par. Let's just put it out there and be honest. We know as Black women, we're at the bottom of the barrel.
Pretty much.
We get the least amount of care.
Yep.
And they dismiss us the most in our complaints and concerns. And here's the thing. We won't even show up and give all of the complaints anyway, because we've been conditioned to
not to.
Exactly. So the little we do tell them, they're like, you all right. It's like, hold on, homeboy. If I'm telling you this, it's big.
It is. I'm not well, with no answer, right? And it was after I got all of those tests, and what she did was my hormones were way off. And I knew that because I was a young woman And I was trying to have a baby, and I couldn't get pregnant. And it ended up being because I had PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I've always known hormones were off. But after having kids, I figured, I didn't need to address it anymore because I'm done with the whole kid thing. We fixed that part.
Right, they here.
Right, I'm good. And she don't want no more. So we good. But what I didn't know is that it was so far off. Like all of them. And it had never been explained to me, the impact and what each of these, what progesterone does, what estrogen does, I had no clue. And learning that, what she did, she does what's called bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. So it's not a synthetic drug where you just go give me a hormone pill that's synthetic and you just give it to me because my body's going to reject part of it. But she does compounded hormone therapy. So it's designed for me. It's made to my needs based on what she prescribes. And it doesn't get rejected. So it works beautifully. When I tell you that saved my life.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like you said, there's so many things that we don't know, but I heard you say it runs in my family.
Yeah.
And the first thing you think is if something running in your family, folks going to talk about it and tell you to look out for it.
Girl, when I tell you I was mad at all the women in my family, I'm like, how come nobody told me?
Right.
Y'all didn't think it was important to let the young women in this family know that we have this gene or that, and it may show up different in me. Because literally, I thought I was crazy. High blood pressure. Didn't know. Had no clue. I'm 35 with headaches every day. The doctor tell me I'm in Sam's blood pressure cuff. I say, what? 170 over? What the world?
Wow.
Had no clue. Oh, yeah, we all had that at 30. Y'all didn't think to tell us? I mean, so that piece, like my daughter, I talk to her. I tell her. She's about to be 12. She probably knows more than she wants to know about some of these things. But it's not going to be because she's not going to be in a place of it happening to her and she'd be clueless.
Right.
So I'm big about sharing that information.
Good. As we should be. But for so many years, we've been taught as women to keep quiet.
Yeah.
Don't even really talk about ourselves in any capacity. And especially the things that may not be right.
Exactly.
Because then it's like, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
When instead it should be like, oh, let's talk about this. Because even if it didn't run in the family, if one woman has it, let's talk about it. So I know the early signs.
Exactly. To prevent it from myself.
Exactly. So I don't go down the rabbit hole.
Correct. And I watch my mama, work her fingers to the bone and do all of the things and be without sleep and do all of this stuff. So what did I do? I mean, we repeat history.
That's it. The same. Wash, rinse, repeat. So we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, Dr. Shana will tell us more about the journey to Dr. Shana, as well as the things that she does now today to make sure that all of the hats stay on well and work out. We'll be right back. We offer face-to-face and virtual counseling throughout the state of Texas. www.ichoosemecounseling.com. So, as you were sharing, Dr. Shell is amazing. Like, I need her in my life.
Yes.
On speed dial. You talked on the break about how, she's a budget line because we're going to get what we need from Dr. Shell.
Yes.
And be consistent. And that's really important in prioritizing yourself, and not letting anyone else continue to tell you you're okay when you know you don't feel okay.
Exactly.
So fast forward, we're now present day, still living this whole COVID life. How are you managing? What does it look like? Are you still wearing all the hats? Did you take some of the hats off? What's happening?
I think we might have a few more hats. Because I had more room in the hat closet. I need a few more.
More room. Like I could put two on this one.
Yeah, that's what happened was. Well, definitely still all of the things spinning, right, at the same time. However, I am not the same woman I was 4 years ago. Absolutely not. I would say COVID-19 was a gift to me in a lot of ways. Not something that I would have wished upon the world in the way that it showed up, but it taught me some things. And it taught me, number one, to slow down. Because you didn't have a choice when it started. Sit down. Have several seats.
Like the old folks say, sit down somewhere.
Sit down somewhere. All of y'all. And so I did that. And in the stillness of all of that, I really was able to reflect on what's valuable and important to me. And I realized that there were still parts of me that I wasn't addressing, parts of me that I was not, pouring into. And so it was so amazing just to get quiet. What happens in silence? Mm-hmm. And when there's so much noise, and many of us, we live in noise. It's chatter. Mm-hmm. And that quiet gate offered me an opportunity to see what was I missing. And so part of it helped me. Number one, I ended up creating an entire network of women, the Your Extraordinary Life network of women who were struggling during coronavirus. And social media, because I'm always on social media, and I created this Facebook group of women. It was a challenge initially. It was a 2-week challenge to reset ourselves during the pandemic. And out of that, every single day, what I did for 2 weeks is I brought a different professional from a mind, body, and spirit component to come and teach us about the aspects of ourselves that we need to be addressing, especially right now. And that 2 weeks, while I did it for them, it was really for me.
Look, that's how it is. Like you go to give and be like, oh, hold on, let me open up my.
Let me get my cup. Let me give me some while we're here. And so it gave me a lot. So sleep was one of the things that has always been an issue for me. And I was able to literally be taught again to restructure my day, where I have quadrants. There's 4 quadrants to the day. And each quadrant has its own responsibilities. And a whole big one of them is sleep. Mm-hmm. That I have to get non-negotiable 8 hours of sleep every night. That's how I function my best. Period, point blank. If I go to bed at 12, I'm not waking up before 8. If some reason I stay up till 1, I'm not getting up before 9. Just understand, I'll be there when that's 8 hours of sleep has been complete. So that, and another thing that happened in that, the sleep became important. Exercise. Oh, and I'm not the exercise girl. Okay. She, me, her. That ain't what I do.
Pretty girl.
That's not what we do. I don't. However, I understood that I needed 150 minutes of aerobic activity every single week. Strength and weight training and resistance. I needed all of that. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to be a leader in this space, I need to lead by example too, right? Mm-hmm. And so it put that in my heart, like, Shana, you got to do this, want to or not. But once I started, oh my gosh, the difference it made. Like, I'm waking up looking for my Peloton app so I can go get my workout on, right? Mm-hmm. So it was the exercise, it was the sleep, the water intake. Major game changer.
Game changer.
Who knew?
Look, right now you down my lane.
Yes.
On beating down the block. Yes. Knocking pictures off the wall.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's it. When I work with clients with anxiety, those are the 3 things that we talk about, that if they can regulate those, then it decreases the anxiousness, everything. That sleep, the way you're prioritizing it, like, everyone needs to understand. Go to bed.
Please.
Get some sleep.
Please.
It's so much better for you.
So simple.
So simple, but yet so complex. Because it's the first thing that goes when we stress.
Oh, easy. Because for me, I always stayed up thinking I was being productive. She wasn't doing nothing, girl. I'm like, girl, what you doing at midnight 0:30?
Twirling.
Flipping a channel, looking at nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Thinking you working on a project, but you have time. You don't know what you... Go to bed.
So then you got to look at it again in the morning because you're not quite sure what you did last night.
Correct. Yeah. And what you did was wrong. So you got to go redo what you did last night. Doing those things really made a difference. And the one, when I say if there's a single thing that I did over this pandemic that has made the major difference, was a detox. Oh, LaShasta, when I tell you that detox changed my entire life.
What you detox from?
Listen, so Dr. Shell, that's my girl, right? 14-day detox. In a box. Simplest thing I ever did in my life. And 14 days, you take the shakes, you eat, really healthily in the middle of the day, and another shake in the middle of the night. So I lost 10 pounds, first of all. And it wasn't necessarily just for weight, right? That's a nice ad.
I saw that weight snatch. Okay.
Noted, right? So it did that for me, but it also gave me clarity. Energy, like my focus went from 0 to 100. Like I could see things I couldn't see before. I'm a creative by nature. Like I understand that's my talent and gift, that I'm visionary, but I started seeing stuff in full 3D, color, surround sound.
Well, come on now.
Like I couldn't, but like I thought I could, but I didn't know what I didn't know until I knew what I know now.
That's it.
Oh, it was amazing. So those are the things, the self-care, non-negotiable. Like those aren't pawns that I can play with. Those are ones that are always going to have to be taken care of. And I've had to learn to retrain my family. as well to respect that time, because we train folks how to treat us, and we train them to depend on us, and they can't do nothing for themselves. And I've had to retrain them, let them know you are capable.
Yeah, you can do that.
You can do some things while mommy does what she needs to do. But it's also for me a teaching moment for my daughter, because I want her to grow up knowing that this is how she's supposed to treat herself. This is how she's supposed to live. So this whole pandemic has really gifted me. If I had to say what it gave me, it really did give me me.
Wow. And I've heard so many say about the introspection and being able to take time and sit still. And just from a neuroscience place, when we sit in silence, our hippocampus heals. Like our brain literally heals itself if we take time to sit in silence. And while it was forced, some of us chose to say, you know what? I have to be here. So while I'm here,
right,
let me take a look around.
Yes.
How this gut doing? How this digestive system working out? You know, how's my focus?
Yes.
And that's amazing. Like, that's a gift within itself to even be able to position yourself to do the introspection.
Right. And then to use that to help other women. Like, I'm on a mission. I am so passionate about it. I'm telling women, go to joindrshana.com. Please join the journey, because we're here trying to get our whole lives together. We only get one.
That's it.
We get one opportunity. Let's make it valuable. Let's make it the one we want, not just the one somebody gave us.
That's it. Or that told us we could have.
Come on now.
Or could not have.
Come on now.
Like, hold on, no. I want one of them and one of them and two of them down there.
Please.
Because I can.
And I want them in different colors.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so that's so valuable to have in place.
Yeah.
That you are willing to lead women.
Yes.
But I heard you say, I had to do it for myself first.
Absolutely.
In order to lead well.
Yep.
Which resonate for me of self-discipline.
Yep.
Because people wait for the motivation. Like, oh, I'm going to get motivated and work out. And it's like, no. What you just said, I worked out. I didn't want to. I disciplined myself to do so.
Yes.
Once I discipline myself, then I'm like, where my app at? Then the motivation came.
Exactly. It normally won't show up at first, but you like the benefits. You like the outcomes, because the body feels good. The energy is high. It's like, give me some more. I mean, you're feeding your brain. You're making it excited, and it wants more of whatever it just got. So I just tell folks, like you just said, don't look for the motivation. Do it and grow your motivation. It's going to grow.
Absolutely, if you do it, but it takes that discipline first. That, like you said, let me get my time. This is my time.
Yeah.
Let me set it to the side. So when you take all of the things that you've said, because you've dropped so many gems already that I'm like, what else she got? I know you got something else. So if you think about your journey, your current disposition, what you're doing in life for yourself, for others, if you could leave one or two things with the audience, what would it be?
You know, the first thing I want women to understand is the value of getting aligned. See, so many of us, we live in this misaligned place. Anybody ever ridden in a car and it's riding like this? How long are you going to ride like this?
Look, that's it.
You won't. You're going to hurry up and you're going to the first discount tire or whatever shop you have. We need to treat our bodies in the very same way. I believe in an affirmation. My body is a temple and it deserves to be well cared for. And if we believe that, then we go do the work attached to that. It's the only one I got. I don't get a redo, this is it.
That's it.
This is not a dress rehearsal. This is the live event.
That's it.
And I believe that we need to do a better job of caring for ourselves. And one of the things I tell women all the time, I want us to learn to fill our own cups first. You serve from the overflow, sis. The cup is for you. The salsa, that's for them. I can't serve you if my cup is empty. And I can't give you what's mine.
That's it. And we're going to drop the mic.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.